Hi, in this video, I'll be doing a feature demonstration on NextLabs Cloud AC policy obligations. Here, we'll discuss what policy obligations are, how to define one, and why it is a very important tool to be used in your access control. An obligation is a directive from the policy decision point, PDP, to the policy enforcement point, PEP, on what must be carried out before or after access is approved. If the PEP is unable to comply with the directive, the approved access may or must not be realized. Users can define the obligations of a component when defining its component type. Additionally, obligation can be configured individually in the policy for both allow and deny decisions. Below are some of the functionalities of policy obligations. Now, let's look at our first example. In this demo, we'll be creating an obligation called Notified Customer, which will contain a single parameter called Customer Notification. This obligation will be associated with the ticket resource type. Here, we have a component type called Ticket. It is a resource component type meant for customer support. In obligations, we want to add an additional obligation called Notified Customer. Both add obligations work, so let's click on Add Obligation and put down Notified Customer. For short name, we're going to put down Noticus. Click on this check mark. Now we have created our obligation. Let's add some parameter to this obligation. Click on Show Parameters and Add Parameter. Parameters will allow you to effect the operation of this obligation by specifying anything. In parameters, both name and short name are required fields, and the short name must be unique within its obligation. This means we can have duplicate parameter short names under different obligations, but not the same short name under the same obligation. Our name for this parameter is Customer Notification, and for short name, we're going to put down Cus Noti. For this parameter, I want it to be a single row, and I'm going to select a mandatory. Now I have selected mandatory, a default value is now required. In the default value, I'm going to use an expression to give a dynamic response. So, your ticket has been assigned to user.name. This is a special character sequence that will be replaced at the policy evaluation by the value of the resource attribute. Click on the check mark and click on Save. Now we have created obligation with parameters. Let's take a look at this obligation in a policy. Here we have a policy that utilizes this component type. In the obligation section, we can see that Notified Customer has been added to all policies that uses the component type ticket. Let's enable this obligation on allow and expand it. Here we can see our customer notification and our default value. In every policy, we also have two predefined obligations, Auto Activity and Notify. These two obligations can be configured on both allow and deny decisions and optional. For example, when we turn Auto Activity on deny, every time when this policy gets denied, a policy activity log will be generated, which will contain authorization decisions and data for auditing purposes. Same for Notify. When it's turned on under deny or allow, a customized email message can be sent to one or many recipients. In the second example, I'll be showcasing a more in-depth usage and the capabilities of injecting a SQL statement to filter records. I'll be using the DAE component type to filter and mask data using policy obligation. I'll also demonstrate the obligation's effect through Postman. In this scenario, I'm a doctor accessing a table containing patient information. First, we're passing a JWT token that contains my ID, position, and the array of patients I'm responsible for. Since the patient ID is an array, to select this attribute, we'll have to use some multi-value attribute tag. Based on my position using expressions, I am unable to view a field called address. Instead, it'll be replaced by a mask symbol that I define here. Based on this patient array, I'll only be able to view the patient records corresponding to these patient ID. For demonstration purposes, here's what our hypothetical patient table looks like. And here is the GW token we're using to simulate the user. And here we have our policy that allows the physician to only see their patient info. In the obligations, I have two things turned on, the predict condition and the data masking. Since my patient's attribute is an array, I can select this array by using either a combination of add single quote and add comma tag, or add double quote and add comma tag. CloudAZ also supports other tags such as add semicolon and add space to handle other situations. Now, let's see this policy in action by using Postman to simulate. Here I am running as my payload and I'm seeing all three of my patients. With this, we conclude our video on NextLabs CloudAZ policy obligation. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the NextLabs channel, and stay tuned for more data-centric security videos.